Plastics, once hailed as versatile and convenient material, have evolved into a mounting threat to society, causing problems such as flooding and declining soil fertility, which directly impact agricultural outputs. As the world grapples with the consequences of plastic pollution, it becomes evident that urgent action is needed to address the adverse effects of this pervasive material.
As we go along, you'll see that the environment completely changes immediately. We remove the plastics that was otherwise left, as a litter along this road. So this is just whenever the communities see for themselves that they need to live in a clean, in a healthy environment. And that plastics actually is bringing for us more problems than the solution we think it has brought.
Human behavior, our consumption behaviors, and of course the policy challenges that we have at hand. We have a habit of littering everywhere, which is why even no matter how much we preach against plastic pollution, you still see you and I drink soft drinks and then throw bottles everywhere.
In the face of escalating plastic pollution, there is an urgent need to foster a culture that prioritizes leaving the environment free from plastics. It is essential to raise awareness, educate communities, and instill a sense of responsibility among individuals to combat the pervasive problem of plastic waste.
The public has been made aware. We have talked about the dangers of plastics. What has been lacking is just action, what you would call walking the talk. Because we can talk, we can create awareness, but if there is no action happening on the ground, then still we see the problem persisting. So I think we just want to try to mobilize communities this time continuously, not only once during this week of World Environment Day, even after. It should be something that we build into a culture of cleanness.
According to the United Nations Environmental Programme, more than 400 tons of plastic is produced every year, half of which is designed to be used only once. Of that, less than 10% is recycled, while an estimated 19 to 23 million tons end up in lakes, rivers, and seas, affecting fish and other marine life. Globally, billions of dollars are needed to combat plastic consumption, and there should be alternatives, such as utilizing glass bottles. Civil society is also urging the government to develop a policy framework that governs plastic manufacture.
NEMA can choose to regulate the production and use of these plastics by way of effecting standards, of course in collaboration with UNBS. We can, as civil society, continue and intensify efforts to raise resources to support all actors that are working against the production and use of plastics in the country. Government needs to move very fast towards getting the policy framework framed in such a way that it discourages production and use of polyethylene bags, plastic material that is degrading to the environment. Therefore, let's speak to our leaders, but let's also speak to each other. However,
they run in billions of shillings. Even in the world over, right now as we speak, billions and billions of dollars is needed to remove what we have put there. So why do we put something there which is going to cost us billions? So I think we need to avoid that. We need to avoid it. Let's only have those categories of plastic that absolutely we shouldn't have them. But these other ones, you see people littering with them here, they're alternatives. Before, for example, we had soft drinks like sodas now being put in plastic bottles. You remember that they were all in glass bottles. And this transition is a recent one. If we went back into glass bottles for those drinks, what would happen to us? Are we going to be inconvenienced or what?
Recognizing the urgent need to address the environmental crisis caused by plastic waste, CSOs have collaborated with packaging factories to develop innovative solutions that promote sustainability and reduce the reliance on single-use plastics. These programs emphasize the importance of eco-friendly packaging materials, encouraging companies to transition towards greener alternatives that have minimal ecological impact.
What we call ecologically friendly. When they get into the environment, they decompose, what we call biodegradation. So they decompose, and therefore they pose no challenge on the environment. We intend to work with companies that package foods and packages that companies that package soft drinks, just two to pilot.
The war against plastics, targeting mainly single-use products, has been on for more than 10 years, but all the previous regulations drives seem not to have had an impact. While the East African community proposed the ban on single-use non-biodegradable plastics in 2018, Uganda lags behind its regional counterparts, with a ban yet to be fully implemented. By 2020, only 4 out of the 5 East African community member countries, including Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania, had successfully enforced the ban, indicating a pressing need for Uganda to intensify its efforts and take further action. Naomi Mutumba, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.